What's up, Cinemaniacs? We are back for our bi-weekly show, and who is we? Well, I am Shane, and I am from Facebook.com/the CineBros. You can find me over there. And if you happen to love movies, then you need to like our page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because this is where we have a bunch of movie lovers who just love to talk, rant, discuss, whatever, debate, all that kind of stuff about movies. I always have a guest here. This guest runs all the independent stuff on the Facebook page, and that is Sir Chadwick Davis.
Good morning, Shane.
Yes. Another bright and early morning.
Yeah.
Watching movies and having a good time. Both feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah.
It's a glorious.
Going to bed late, waking up early.
Yeah, drinking some tea to keep the cough under control.
It was a good movie, so it kind of brightened up my day a little bit, but it's being sick, and it's for the dogs, man.
Well, since we've just, Debbie downed everybody.
Let's brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, let's brighten this thing up a little bit. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to start off a bunch of new news that came out, some random stuff like, trailers could have dropped. You have some new news that kind of happened over the last 2 weeks. We're just going to pick out some parts there. And the first question that I had up, the Oscars were a week ago. Do you think there were some big surprises? And what did you think of NPH as the host? What do you think they could do to make the show better? Because there has been a lot of talk about how long and boring the show was, and it's not like when Billy Crystal did it, and, all that kind of stuff. But so we have a couple of topics here. The first thing is, do you think there were any big surprises?
As far as awards go?
Yeah.
As far as awards go, minor. I don't think it was really that big of a surprise, but the Michael Keaton Best Actor, it was talked about a lot during the whole year, like pretty much all the way up until the award show, that he pretty much had it in the bag.
Yeah.
Like, you could actually kind of see him when they made the announcement. Like, he was going to pull out his notepad and get up there.
That was like the saddest thing ever. Yeah, to see him like ready to accept the award, because he had won the majority of the awards for Best Actor and all the other award shows. Yeah. And you see him take his little note, whatever it was, probably the acceptance speech, and tuck it away in his. Oh, that was so sad.
Yeah, it was very sad to watch that, and it's disappointing, because how many more movies is he gonna be in where he's gonna be able to get an award?
The good thing about male actors, they tend to have a much longer career. Unfortunately, you have some actresses like Meryl Streep, who's but there's a lot of actresses when they get old, for some reason they just don't get cast anymore. There's a lot of talented actresses, and I think that's starting to change, which is good. Yeah. But for the most part, you have a lot of older actors that, you have Liam Neeson, who's 60 years old and doing action movies left and right.
Every 3 months, I think he comes out with a movie.
And they're all the same, but
exactly the same. Yeah.
He's always kicking ass, and it's awesome. But as far as females go, it's just not how it works. With the male actors, they can go on for a long period of time. Like Michael Keaton is not a spring chicken. Yeah. And now that even though he was just nominated for this award, he is still being talked about for a lot of roles now, like Beetlejuice 2, and there's no saying that he can't in 5 to 10 years get another. But it's one of those kind of once in a lifetime.
Birdman is only going to come along. I don't think another Birdman movie is going to come along for him. Beetlejuice 2, if he does come out with it, it might be a good movie, but it's not going to be Oscar nominated.
He could find like a Nebraska, or some kind of like a more independent movie that could work out well. But so, what did you think of Neil Patrick Harris as the host?
I loved him. I'm a big Neil Patrick fan. Anyway, ever since, I know he's out on Broadway a lot, and he's done a lot of that and everything. But what really hit home for me was I watched him on How I Met Your Mother, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite shows of all time. Absolutely love that show, and he is my favorite character.
See, I don't really like that show, and I never really got into it, but I did like him on the show.
Yeah, he was awesome in the show. He's just the way that in real life he's gay.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
Right.
And in that show, he plays like a
man whore.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't put it any other way. And it's just so funny to see that. And I thought he did really well. I know a lot of people are saying it dragged out a little bit.
I don't think it was his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
He had some he had some jokes that were really fun. I mean, there was jokes that we were laughing pretty hard.
I mean, really hard.
Yeah, I mean, he hit home. He was getting a lot of hate, you know, like it was definitely, I think it was more split. The haters always tend to shine through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that, you know, he did a really good job for what he was given. Like, he had some of the bits, like, you know, that whole suitcase bit and stuff like that. It was a little weird. It was bad. But it did lead to a really funny joke about John Travolta and the face touching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, you might not have gotten that. Of course, the writers could have changed something around, and they could have added that in or ad-libbed it in at some point in time. Whatever. I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought the show, because of the way it's laid out, you know, because one of the other things is that how I think they can do it better is by taking some of those awards that people don't really care about. Add them to the second day, you know, the day that happens. I think it's before, 2 days before, something like that, where they do a lot of the technical awards and all that kind of stuff. Add it to that day. That frees up a good 15, 20 minutes to where you can do more song and dance numbers, like something that would be at the beginning of the show, because he knocked that out of the park.
I mean, that was phenomenal. That was probably one of the best openings I've seen in a while. I mean, with him coming out, Jack Black coming out.
Yeah, that was great.
Anna Kendrick coming out. They were funny. They had all three of them had really good chemistry together. I mean, I think Anna Kendrick took off her shoe and threw it at Jack Black. I mean, and changing the genre of music up too. I mean, they went through 3 different kind of genres of music and they all nailed it. Like, it was phenomenal. I mean,
it was awesome to watch, and it's the way that the show's actually laid out. I think if they take some of those awards, because a lot of those awards, and you know, I don't like to make fun of people when they have loss and all that kind of stuff. I find it, I don't know, I find it a little weird when you're finally starting to get like the music playing to get you off the stage. Yeah. And then you say, oh, I lost my son. Yeah. Or I lost my daughter. Yeah. Or, you know, I lost my wife. Or, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, if you're really that, like, I mean, I understand you're accepting an award, your mind's freaking going bananas. Yeah. You know, all that kind of stuff. But, like, if that's the forefront of your mind, you really want to talk about that, make it the first priority. Yeah. And, you know, you'll really catch people. And they might give you a little extra time to talk because of that.
I think they actually did that. I mean, I think
they started playing the music, and he was like, oh, and my late wife. Yeah. And then they, like, were like, oh, okay, let's take the music down. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I just don't find it as sincere at that point in time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's, I mean, if you take some of those awards out,
that could definitely shorten it.
You can also... Like, I like they did a musical tribute with Lady Gaga and stuff like that for
which was phenomenal.
Was amazing. Yeah. That was like the musical performance of the day. Like, and they might be able to, the other thing they might be able to do is take out the musical performances for like the original song or whatever it is. Yeah. Like, take those out. I mean, that's like another 15 minutes there too, because I mean, at least they put a 5-minute show on for every single song. Take those out. You have like a 3.5 hour show that you're doing. And then you're freeing up more space. So this way, the awards that you really want to see, like the best actor, best actress, the best picture, director, all that kind of stuff, you actually get more time. They were flying through those at the end. Yeah. I mean, we all had our pool, and we're like going through and like scratching one off left and right. And we're like, oh, who's winning now? I don't know. I had them all up. I don't know what's going on.
They definitely screamed through the end of that. I mean,
which sucks, because that's what you're
waiting for.
Yeah, I understand that they want to give these people their time to, you know, their due, their 15 minutes of fame kind of deal. But when it comes down to it, that's what kills the show. I mean, that and the president talking, the president of the Academy, like those times, like it really dulls down the show. That's when people just tend to get up and walk away. I did. Yeah. The president was talking. I got up. I left. I walked. I grabbed another beer. And, you know, it's just not needed. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to kind of go back to Neil Patrick Harris as the host.
Okay.
He had some controversial jokes. That's what a lot of it came up. The very first joke right off the bat, he came out. And he goes, you know, tonight we honor Hollywood's best and whitest.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, brightest.
Right.
It was a very edgy joke for the Academy Awards. I mean, I loved it.
Very Seth MacFarlane of him.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Of course, you're going to have those haters that are going to hate it. But I thought it was great. And also the Birdman parody. I liked it, but just for the fact that I know the Razzies is not a big deal or anything, but the Razzies also spoofed it. Their spoof was better. I didn't think it was that great of a spoof. I mean, the fact that he came out in his underwear was pretty cool. I mean,
was it the Razzies that did it?
The Razzies did it, and the independent film. Oh, they both did it. They both did it the day before. Now, the independent the Independent Spirit Awards. They did one phenomenally. I mean, it was Amazon.
Yeah, you can check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, check it out on YouTube. I mean, it was phenomenal. But yeah, it was the weakest one out of the three of them, but it was still funny. But I don't know. I just think that they could have done something different. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it was funny. I mean, I enjoyed it. He was ballsy.
Yeah,
to go out there on stage like that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to the second topic. The second topic in here, the Power Rangers short film that just hit YouTube. Did you like it, and would you want to see a Power Ranger movie like this? For me, I didn't really like it. I thought the special effects of it were decent at times, and then other parts weren't so good. I actually don't mind Katie Sackhoff. I think she's actually a pretty decent actress. But my biggest problem was I've heard her do interviews about this. I don't think she had a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah.
But that time when she looked at him and said, "I prefer pink," or something like that, or "I like pink,"
yeah,
I almost fell out of my chair laughing. I thought it was so ridiculous of a line,
yeah,
in such a dark tone of a movie.
Yeah.
So I saw that, whatever. The choreography of the fight scenes and stuff like that, I felt were really slow and clunky. And granted, I know it's a short film, but the problem is, short film or not, there are short films out there. Like, you got all the Mortal Kombat ones that are out there on YouTube, and I think Street Fighter even did some stuff, and all. Those are really good and well done fight scenes, and like you can tell they really did a good job. Like Bat in the Sun even does a lot of like versus, and the choreography in that is really good as well. I feel like they just kind of dropped the ball on some of that, giving people the dark tone that it gave you. I think that people want that, so they just kind of like, "Oh, that's awesome! I would love to see that, but better on a big screen."
Yeah.
So I think that's why most people flipped out about it. I actually thought James Van Der Beek was really good in it.
I thought he
was the best part.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was.
He was. Well, you could tell he was walking around on a kind of a clunky prosthetic kind of leg that he was kind of, and I think that was part of the reason why he was moving slow.
Yeah.
But as far as like the fight scenes and everything, that was kind of what bummed me out. Personally, Power Rangers was like in between. Like, I grew up on like Transformers and all that kind of stuff, X-Men, and then skipped a little bit. I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that later on in life.
Yeah.
Because I have siblings that are much younger than me. They're 11 years younger.
Yeah.
So I've watched a lot of their cartoons. Like, unfortunately, I had to sit through quite a bit of Pokemon, which I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
But like I know they like the Power Rangers, but I just could never get in. It was too campy for me. It's made for younger kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be more bright and sunny and stuff like that. So would I want to see a darker tone? Yeah, because then that wouldn't be the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like, then you're talking, it's just another form of like G.I. Joe. I'm in at that point in time.
As far as me, I didn't care for it either. I watched it again this morning. I didn't really get it, I guess, because like you, I didn't grow up on the Power Rangers. I mean, it was around, but I never watched it. All I remember is like it being really corny, and like with the big mascot kind of fight scenes, and this one was pretty real. I mean, live action. I did enjoy the fight scene, the Black Ranger. That fight scene was really good.
I can't remember what that.
Very gruesome.
I can't remember what the Asian guy's name is. He's in Hawaii Five-0 too.
Yeah.
I think he's plays in some other things.
Yeah.
I don't think he did the stunt work, but that fight that they did, and him is in particular, it was really that was well done.
Yeah, that whole scene. It was a good majority of the short film too. I mean, it was probably almost 4 or 5 minutes long. I mean, that's. The clip was only 15 minutes long total.
It was like,
and that scene was pretty long, and the whole fight scene. I enjoyed that part, but as far as everything else, I mean, I guess you had to be a Power Ranger fan a little bit to know what was going on. I don't think a movie. Maybe if they came out with a movie that was more along the lines of what the Power Rangers are really.
Right.
That would be good. I don't think I would enjoy a movie.
I wouldn't go to see it.
I wouldn't go see it either. But I think it would probably maybe. I can't really say it might do better because you still got the people.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
The first Power Ranger movie that came out, which was a long time ago, that did really well. The second one that came off, like, dropped like 80% as far as box office goes, and that they were both very campy, very to the TV show, like very close to it. it might be a good idea for them to turn to that side. I mean, but the way that they had it, that was R. I mean, that was hard R.
No, that was straight up R.
Yeah, like that was hard R, violence, and there was nudity. And
I guess that kind of makes sense, though, because if you grew up on the Power Rangers, you're going to be in that age range now
you still
where
have the kids who are going to see Power Rangers, trailers and stuff on TV. You have the TV on for a long period of time. Commercials happen. Kids are in the room.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, they're going to be like, oh, Power Ranger, can I go see it?
Yeah, can I go see the Power?
No, this isn't this is Daddy's, Power Rangers, not yours.
Yeah, I think it's good for what it was, a short film. That's
definitely got people talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it got a lot of. It got taken off YouTube. I mean, YouTube took it down.
They actually, I think it just came back.
It just came back. I watched it this morning. But it's like age restricted now. You have to actually be signed in.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. So they did put the age restriction on it and stuff. But I think as a short film, it was good. It got some buzz. But other than that, I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think a movie's coming out with darkness.
Well, they are making one.
But with
they
that
are
darkness,
making one. I think they're going to go the PG-13 route. I think they're going to try and make it more adult friendly.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to try and appeal to the 8-year-old to 16, but still keep it so that the adults enjoy it
too.
All right, so we'll move on to the next topic, which is Robert Downey Jr. said last week that there was a big announcement coming in 8 days. Well, that day is coming up on March 5th. So what do you think about the news? And are you excited to hear what the announcement is?
In the back of my mind, I have it where it's going to be tied into Iron Man somehow. Mm-hmm. What I liked, as some people think could be, but it's a long shot, is they got quite a few films coming up that don't have any directors. Mm-hmm. And it's a possibility. Maybe he might direct one of them. I mean... It's a possibility. I mean, you got
that would be interesting.
It would be very interesting, but I think it's a long shot for that.
Yeah.
But it would be pretty interesting to see Robert Downey maybe direct a movie. I mean, he's in a lot of these superhero movies. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Maybe give him a chance. I mean, you got a couple of them coming out. I mean, we got Captain Marvel coming out. You got the Inhumans. Captain America,
Civil War, which actually they're going to be in together.
Yeah.
Marvel, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, whatever they're going to call her, is going to be later on.
Captain Marvel, yeah, that's
going to be later on. Inhumans is going to be later
Black
on.
Black Panther, right?
Black Panther is going to be later on. I think they bumped it. I can't remember if they moved it up or back, because what I think it's going to be is I actually think they're going to announce Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think they're going to announce who got casted.
Yep.
I think that would be huge. I mean, that is a big announcement to me. Robert Downey Jr. isn't necessarily always about everybody else.
Yeah.
He tends to like to talk about, not necessarily like in like an uppity way, but he likes to kind of like keep things revolved around him.
That's what yeah.
So it could be the fact that, he's going to he has a plan to retire and pass the uniform on. It could be that, he's going to direct. I think it's going to be Peter Parker or Miles Morales. I hope it's Peter Parker. I hope that they announce who it's going to be and that that character is going to be in Civil War at some point. It's some facet. Like he's either going to be in the movie at least, and they might even be filming an after credit sequence.
Yeah.
And if they film an after credit sequence for Avengers 2, which is coming out real soon, May 1st, that would be amazing. Because if they have their characters, they could do an after credit sequence.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
Real quick. Iron Man flying in, seeing Peter Parker. Hey, we know who you are. I'm recruiting people for Civil War because obviously Avengers and all, it's going to be leading towards the Civil War because it's coming out the next year. I'm recruiting people. Whose side are you on? Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I think the announcement's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
March 5th, whenever that is.
Yep. I think it's Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday.
So I'm excited for it. I hope it's big. I won't be shocked if it's small news.
Yeah.
Like, how we've been giving you all these character posters. Well, here they're all together.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, thanks, buddy. I gotta piece that together on Photoshop, you asshole.
Yeah, I don't think Marvel's gonna do that though. I think it's gonna be something big. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. I don't see them put him out there and just to do something small. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it could be a due date too. You know, it could be. You don't know that. Why does
on the heels of my Iron Man poster?
Yeah,
here's me with Zach Galifianakis in Due Date 2.
You never know. We won't know until Thursday. So
I'll have to say that I'm pretty certain that it's not going to be Due Date 2. Oh my God, if it was Due Date 2, I'd cry. I will literally cry.
I'm holding you to that.
I will.
On camera. We want you on camera next show. Due Date 2.
All right, so a topic that you have kind of talked to me about several times throughout the last several months, and we are going to finally bring it onto the show, was about midnight showings. Midnight showings are 12:01 technically. Thursday night at 12:01, which is actually Friday morning. Showings are kind of a thing of the past. You used to have to make big plans, go early to wait in line. People would dress up, and it was a big fun and a spectacle.
Yeah.
Now these films really they release really early on Thursday with showings as early as 4 p.m. How do you feel about this? I know you've talked about this to me in the past.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I loved being able to go to a midnight showing. Like, I remember going in high school and having to be up in the morning to go to school still. I mean, I saw all the Saws. That's like my big movie that I saw at midnight.
You saw the Saws?
All the Saws I saw. But I went and saw every single one of them at midnight, and
that was like, they always did it like right around October 31st too.
Yeah,
right?
it was right around Halloween every year. I think they released one almost every year. I mean, that was what they did. I mean, I'm not saying the movies were great, but it was just something that me and my friends did. I mean, we watched the first one. We all loved the first one. And then we were like, hey, the second one, let's go. And then we went to the midnight showing for the second one. And then it just became a tradition. And now we can go 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday, like, or 7 o'clock. It's not the same feeling. Like I said, for the business wise, it's good for them. But I saw it coming. I mean, you had your 12:01 showings, and then all of a sudden you saw the 11 o'clocks pop up, and then it slowly became 10:30, 9:30. Now you get 7 o'clock. I don't see that many 4 o'clocks, but you get a lot of 7.
That's rare. I mean,
you get a lot of 7 o'clock and a lot of 10 o'clocks now.
Oh,
and no midnights now. Like, there's no midnights now.
Yeah.
It's very rare to see midnight.
They do.
Yeah.
For the big ones, they'll do like
they do the 7, 10,
and
12:30 or 12:15.
12:30. Yeah. For me, I love the midnight showings, and for the big movies, I'll still go to the midnight showings. I'll try to. Like, I mean, there's, I have kids, and now that we're doing reviews and stuff, it's tough to like come home at 3 o'clock in the morning, come down here after I'd been up for 18 hours straight or whatever, and possibly only got 6 hours of sleep the night before. Like,
so you enjoy the 7 o'clock shows, 10 o'clock shows?
I don't really enjoy the 7 so much. I still like to go a little bit later. I think there's just the vibe is better. I liked going to them. As I've gotten older, I can understand a little bit more. Like, I have 2 kids. I have to be up in the morning. I have to help out. Like, I can't just like, sorry, honey.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see a movie at midnight tonight. I'll be home at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'll be home at 4 a.m. and I'll be downstairs shooting my,
till
review.
Till about 5:30, editing, get it up on you. No problem.
Yeah.
And then I'm out for the day because, it's either that or I'm only going to get about 45 minutes sleep. I can understand where they're coming from. I don't know. I mean, I can't really tell you how I feel or don't feel about it. I actually appreciate some of the earlier showings, but it does leave less of a spectacle. I have seen less people dress up. I was
going to say, when you go to a midnight showing, like, the theaters are always packed, like jam-packed. Most of the time you were waiting in line, and sometimes they opened up another theater.
Oh, you'd have to wait in line for a long time.
And sometimes they opened up another theater. I mean, you didn't have Fandango back then.
Right.
You couldn't go online and just order your tickets and be all set. You had to actually wait in line for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, depending on the movie.
Yep.
It's the vibe inside that theater. Everybody wanted to be there. Yep. Like, you were going to a midnight showing for a reason. I mean, and it was a better movie experience. Now you go to a 7 o'clock or a 10 o'clock showing, sometimes it's not even a full theater. I mean, and you don't get that vibe that you get from, I mean, the bigger movies, you still get the vibe because you got all those.
It's gonna
people.
be packed. I mean,
yeah.
the theater's gonna be packed for 2 weeks. So.
The theater. Yeah, exactly what you said. And
I just don't think you don't get as many people dressing up. Like, I mean, I remember even just when like the first like Iron Man series and stuff and Batman were coming out, like Batman Begins and stuff. People would dress up as Batman, or like legit dress up as Batman, or like Iron Man. They would come in like, you know, these plastic costumes, but still it looked pretty cool.
So, yeah, the Saw movies also, the Jigsaw.
Yeah,
it was big.
Oh,
everybody had a
so
Jigsaw
creepy.
match, a mask on. I mean, it was crazy, but I miss it personally. I guess it's.
Do you understand? Like,
no, I completely understand why they do it now, but you
just want the olden days back.
I just want the midnight showings, man. Like, you know, keep it real. Like, keep it Friday release. And it was it wasn't midnight either. It was 12:01. Remember that? Because they couldn't show it at midnight.
Exactly. Yeah, it was 12:01.
They weren't allowed to. You know, that technically now they can do 11 a.m. shows if they really wanted to, because the release date is now technically Thursday. I mean, even though it's released.
Well, I mean, it says Friday,
but they're released on Thursday.
Early showings on Thursday. I don't know how they're getting around all that, but it is what it is.
It's just crazy.
All right, so we're gonna move on and we're gonna switch topics here, switch segments actually. We're gonna go into a little segment where we call in or out, where we quickly talk about the topic and then say if you're in or out. So first up is Deadline reported that Steven Spielberg said he would like to direct Chris Pratt in a new Indiana Jones movie, as long as Steven Spielberg likes the script. Are you in or out on Spielberg directing and Chris Pratt starring in Indiana Jones?
All right, so Spielberg, I'm out. I kind of think like George Lucas, he's gonna kind of step down, let somebody new come in, take over. What's his name from the Kingsmen? Vaughn. Is it Vaughn? He's interested in doing it. He's already put it out there that he's interested in doing it.
Yep.
I kind of see it as like the Star Wars movies. These guys, the new director. I don't know who the new directors of the Star Wars movies are going to be or whatever.
Well, the first one's J.J. Abrams.
But like, I see it as kind of like the new directors coming in. Like, they grew up watching these movies.
Yep.
They're kind of. They know what they're doing, you know what I mean? Like, all these guys, obviously they want to do it. They're gonna know the movie really well. I mean, and they're. I think it's time to step down. Let somebody new come in. He has a couple of more things lined up right now. I saw that he had
the dude's everywhere.
A war movie, right? Thank you for your service about the Afghanistans and the Iraqis.
He's got one coming out with Tom Hanks soon, and I don't know what it's about, but.
And then he has a couple of them I saw that were coming out, but and as far as Chris Pratt, I'm out for that too. He's in everything now. I mean, I know this movie's not going to come out for, even if it does come out, another 3 years, probably 4 years. I mean, he might not be busy anymore, but I think he is. He's a really good actor. I mean, I think he is. I think, see, okay. I thought he was phenomenal.
The character that he plays on all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see if he's believable enough in Jurassic World, because that is where he's actually taking a departure from the same character he played on Parks and Recreation, same character he played in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's playing a similar character in all these, like, I don't know if you remember because you fell asleep halfway through it, movie 43, he even played a kind of goofball in that as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's playing these very similar characters in all these roles. I personally, for Steven Spielberg, anything that he's attached to, I'm in. Granted, the last movie that he did, the Indiana Jones, which was the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, was not very good. It was the worst of the franchise. But I still enjoyed it in the theater. Yes, there was goofy parts with, you know, like you had the monkeys swinging from the trees with the 50 hairdo and all. Like, it was really, really strange.
Yeah.
A lot of green screen, you could tell. I am still in. When it comes to Spielberg, I'm in. If he's directing, I'm in. Chris Pratt, I don't want to see him as Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
He's got so many things coming out, like you said.
Yeah.
He's got this Ninja Warrior Viking kind of movie that's coming out. He's got Jurassic World, which is a franchise. He's got a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. And granted, Han Solo and Indiana Jones, played by the same Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same then. You know, you had these movies coming out, but it wasn't like Harrison Ford had 4 movies or 4 movie franchises that were like relatively successful and he was just everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
I'm out on Chris Pratt because I just don't think he would be a good, because I think he'd be playing the same character, and I think it would be bad for his career.
Yeah.
He'd be kind of playing that goofy, kind of quick-witted, smart mouth, and I don't want to see him. I would rather see someone like the Coops. Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
I think he would be great. There's plenty other actors that are out there that are very talented that could do it. Jake Gyllenhaal could do it. There's a lot of talented actors out there.
The kid from Kingsman. You think that would be
He's
good?
a little young, but he could be good. I mean, that would be good. I mean, he could play Indiana Jones' son.
Yeah.
They could totally wipe away Shia LaBeouf. As because that's who was kind of Indiana Jones' son. They could totally wipe that clean and say, "Oh no, he was adopted." This is legit. I mean, that would be great. I mean, I would love to see that. I'd like to go in a different route. All right, so now the next one up, New Line Cinema acquired the comedy The House, which will star Will Ferrell, who is playing a man who lost a lot of money. I think he lost his college fund for his kid, and decides to open up a legal casino in the suburbs with his wife. Are you in or out on this movie in general? It's supposed to be around a $40 million budget.
In general, I mean, They got Andrew Cohen and Brendan O'Brien. They both directed. They both wrote The Neighbors. And Cohen will direct this movie. Apparently, it would be his debut. Yeah, it would be his debut. That's what I saw. I mean, it's the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm in, and for the fact that Will Ferrell is an attraction. He's coming off a potential good year. I mean, Get Hard is coming out pretty soon. I think next week or the week after. It's coming out
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon.
No, it comes out the end of the month. So.
He filmed another movie called Zeroville, which is I think a comedy drama kind of movie. It had but I don't know much about that movie, but it has a lot of people in it. Seth Rogen's in it, Megan Fox, Will Ferrell, Danny McBride, Dave Franco, Craig Robinson, Joey King, Horatio Sands. And Franco actually is directing that movie too. I guess it's done. It's in post production right now. And then he has another one coming out with Mark Wahlberg again. It's called Daddy's Home. So he has a potential like steamrolling it right now.
Right.
You might as well ride that ride. And I'm in. Like I said, I'm in. I mean, Will Ferrell, you can't go wrong. I don't think.
No, he hasn't made a lot of bad movies, and. For me, I think that Will Ferrell in this movie, I think it's gonna be funny. He doesn't do a lot that's not funny. Like there are usually funny movies. I'm a little concerned with a new director coming in, because you have a powerhouse like a Will Ferrell. I don't know exactly how much he throws his weight around.
I think he throws his weight a lot
with his new director. It could be a little intimidating and could make the film be a little uneven. But with that being said, I mean, the premise of it is good. I am kind of in. I will say that I'm slightly in. I'm like dabbing my toe in the water kind of deal. We get a trailer for it, in next year or something like that. I might be out. It all depends. I don't know. You're saying we're getting a lot of Will Ferrell this year. That could be a good thing. Could also be a bad thing.
I don't see Getting Hard. I don't see that.
I think it's gonna
flopping.
be funny. I think it's gonna be funny.
I mean, Kevin Hart's rolling right now, and Will Ferrell's rolling. I mean, I don't see that flopping. But to get back to what you were saying, like you were worried about the director being new. You don't think it would help having a Will Ferrell on set? I mean, with his experience and stuff. I mean, wouldn't you want that as a new director? Like,
I think it depends. I think Will Ferrell can easily say to a new director, I don't want to be shot like this. Like, I know this is your vision. Essentially, the director, it's his vision of how this movie is supposed to come together, not the actors. He might be like, this is my vision for it. And Will Ferrell might be like, no, I don't like that. Do it this way. And who's the studio going to side with at that point in time? Like,
yeah, it could be conflict.
Ferrell,
yeah.
Or there could be.
Yeah.
I don't know how Will Ferrell is.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I have never heard anything bad.
I was going to say, you don't hear anything bad about him. I mean,
I'm hoping that it turns
lot of stuff.
out well. I would assume that it's going to turn out okay.
Yeah.
So I am slightly in. I'm like dabbing my toe. I like the idea. I like the premise. New director scares me a little bit. But as far as everything else, I'm in because you know, The Neighbors was really funny. So.
Yeah, I'm all in. Like I'm jumping off the fence and I'm running with it, man. Like I'm excited about it. I'm hoping it comes through. I mean, it sounds like a good premise for a movie. It's something different. I mean, a legal casino down in your basement, or I mean, that's cool, man. Like
it sounds a little
and
funny.
Just seeing what Will Ferrell is gonna do. He's gonna be like Robert De Niro in a casino or something, like walking around, you know, fucking breaking people's fingers and stuff. I mean, I can see that coming from Will Ferrell, like.
Yeah. Well, that could be funny
in a serious, goofy kind of way. Like I think it's gonna be funny, man. I'm all in. Like I said, I'm jumping off the fence, and I'll catch you when you come down to my side.
You're jumping off the fence, doing a backflip into Beast's yard.
Yeah, right into the Beast's yard. I'm looking him right in the face.
We just finished Sandlot not too long ago, so that was the movie that you guys picked, and we watched just before the show. Next thing up is, I had stumbled across this over the weekend. Shannon Lee, daughter of the martial arts legend Bruce Lee, has announced the biopic on her father's life that's in the works. The movie will set out to bring a better understanding about Bruce Lee's philosophy and life history. Are you in or out on a biopic of Bruce Lee?
I'm gonna go with. I'm on the fence. Like I'm kind of in on it. I think it's like I think it could be interesting. I mean, the only thing that we've seen like about him really was the Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Yep.
And that was only the take of his widow. I mean, nobody else was interviewed for it. It was all just her.
Right.
And it would be very interesting, I think, to see from family members. I mean, the people that were really close to him, like all their life, and I think it. I like it. I mean, I'm putting my foot in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big Bruce Lee fan. I mean, but I think it would be interesting to see something like that. Yeah.
Well, for me, I like Bruce Lee. I think he's amazing. I see clips of him on YouTube, and so I stop, I watch. I have a problem with biopics, and especially since his daughter, or was it his daughter?
It's his daughter.
His daughter that's attached. I'm afraid that the family's going to get too involved, and that's my biggest problem with biopics, is because nobody lives their life all peachy keen.
Yeah, it's not.
And they all have a little bit of demons.
Yep.
And I don't like when they skim over that stuff and give you all the good.
All
and
the
that's
good.
It. I want a true story with a biopic. I think if you're going to go biopic, make it legit.
Yeah.
Like, do a real thing. And you know, for all I know, he could have been a saint. I don't know. But I just want to see the true thing, and I want to see, like, was his being this powerful? Like, he was like 130 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And the
guy was
dude
amazing.
was intense. Like, I mean, he had so much strength and control, and just like, he is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, so sad that his life got cut so short.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how I'm actually going to say that I'm out right now, because for one thing, I like Bruce Lee a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movies that I've seen of his in the past.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd be lining up to see a Bruce Lee biopic at the moment. So I'm going to be just on the outside looking at. Now, don't get me wrong. Trailer comes along.
Yeah.
And I could be like, you know, in a year or so, year or two, and I could be like, holy crap, they got this guy to play Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think I think it's all about
intense.
I think it's going to be all about who plays him too. I mean,
it could be. I mean, yeah. I mean, I hope beyond hope that it's good, and that I am like so sad that I ever was said that I was out on this.
Yeah.
So you're slightly in. I'm more out. I'm kind of like looking over the fence.
Yeah.
And then we have the fourth topic today on In or Out is Dick Linklater.
Dick
Linklater said about directing a sequel to Boyhood. I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit. To be honest, this film first met its audience exactly a year ago, and for the first 6 months of the year, my answer to that was absolutely not. Well, as time has progressed, he has come back, and this is a director who has done sequels and done them very well. He has the Before trilogy that he did that is amazing. He was saying that, you know, this was set in 12 years, you know, first to 12th grade, whatever, and I wanted to capture the whole thing. But then he's like, I kind of woke up one day after nobody was asking me the question anymore.
Yeah.
well, maybe I do want to visit it again.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe go through. He's like, the 20s are very formative years.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of where you become a man. Maybe it'll be called Manhood.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But, you know, when it comes down to it, it really depends on what he wants to do. He's leaning towards it now. He's throwing it out there like, I might actually want to do it.
Yep.
Are you in or out on a Boyhood sequel?
When you sent me this as one of our notes for the show, all I could think about was to bring it back again is the Independent Spirit Awards when they did the spoof of the Birdman. Okay. And it was actually a line in the spoof. Fred Armisen said, you know, he's gonna cast me for Manhood, for his new sequel, Manhood. I'm booked for the next 25 years. So I'm kind of wondering if, I mean, he was in the audience there. Mm-hmm.
I think you would use the same guy. I think you would use
no, you can't. You can't use him. But obviously, but I just thought it was a good joke that they threw out there.
I was watching. I can't remember what I was watching or listening to or something. I listen to a lot of different movie podcasts and stuff like that. And one of the things that I listened to, they were like, this guy, this kid, this boy who started off as, you know, a little young boy and has now. He's going to be in 2 movies, but he's going to be like a legacy actor. Yeah. But he's only been in 2 movies. He's been in the industry for like 30 years. But
2 movies.
Like, what do they have? This kid chained in his basement? Like, no, I'm never going to let go of you. And Patricia Arquette, and you know, isn't working very often, so
he's gonna be in the Senior Citizen home doing the.
To be honest, I'd be fine with Patricia Arquette, you know, having to pass away in the movie. Because
she was,
I didn't enjoy her character that much. I don't think you did either.
No, I didn't.
And I don't. She was just there.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke stole the movie for me.
Ethan Hawke definitely stole that movie.
He was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, I'm out. You know what? I thought the first one was good. I enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't see a sequel. It was a long movie.
It was very long.
You did it once. You surprised the hell out of everybody. Mm-hmm. You did it without too many people knowing about it. I mean, how many people knew he was actually filming?
But it just fell under the radar because it was
12 years,
and he just stopped talking about it.
Exactly.
Because, he's in his 7th year filming. You know,
and then it came out, and everybody jumped on the wagon. I mean. And it was a good movie, and it deserved the nominations that it got, and he should have won Director of the Year. I'm out. I'm not feeling it. And I probably wouldn't watch it.
No?
No.
See, I'm in. I actually, as much as I was kind of just digging on the movie a little bit, I'm in. I would like to see how this boy kind of grows up. And these are his formative years. People turn into kind of shape themselves into who they're going to be from when they're 20 to 30. Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of how it happens. And I kind of want to see it. I want to see, you know, maybe 22 to 28 and see what happens. You know, you obviously can separate yourself from the parents a little bit more. So you wouldn't have to necessarily have Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette in there as much.
Yeah.
You know, really focus on him, maybe different people that he's meeting, different girls, different relationships, different jobs, you know, all this kind of stuff. You know, it could be interesting. Obviously, the story is just watching somebody's life, like a normal person's life. Yeah. But it was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
2 hours and 45 minutes, and it flew by. But as of right now, I'm in. I'm like, I would like to see where Linklater, because his sequels and the Before are phenomenal. Yeah. And they're not that long, but you know, he's great with dialogue, and he's great with just. I mean, that movie was amazing. A lot of the acting was uneven, but the movie itself and like the housing to everything.
Yeah, he put it together.
The way that it cut together, it was brilliant. I mean, it was amazing. So out and I'm in, right? Next segment, we're going to go on to 30-second thoughts, and that's basically where we have 30 seconds to give our opinion on whatever particular topic we talk about. The first one up is going to be tough to keep it into 30 seconds for me. And that is Will Smith had his movie Focus open up last weekend to a little over $19 million. Is Will Smith no longer a box office draw? We will start this one off with Sir Chadwick Davis.
All right, taking his last 5 movies. We're going to throw out Winter's Tale. He was in it, but he had a very minor role in it. So we're going to take After Earth domestically. It was pretty good. It was, but the movie was terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Still made $243 million. MIB 3, bad movie, made $624 million. 7 Pounds, absolutely terrible movie, 168 million. I Am Legend, decent movie, 585 million. Pursuit of Happiness, really good movie, $55 million budget, $307 million made.
Done. You're done. Wrap it up real quick.
Yes, he is a draw.
All right, so you think he is a draw. Okay. All right, for me, I think that Will Smith is still a draw. I don't think he's anywhere near the draw that he used to be. I don't think actors in general are draws to movies. There's a couple out there that are actual draws. Like you have Jennifer Lawrence, who seems to draw a pretty good crowd. You have Bradley Cooper, who I think isn't drawing people to his movies because it's him. I think he's drawing to because he's picking the right roles. For me, Leonardo DiCaprio, guaranteed. I'm going to the movies whenever he's in a movie. Will Smith, on the other hand, I will go see him in the movies, but I don't think it's because of the roles he's picking. I think it's Will Smith is a draw a little bit, but because I just don't think actors really are that big of draws anymore. No. I don't think that they have the power that they used to, and you think that he still is.
He is. I mean, just going through his list of movies. I mean, a couple of these movies were $55 million budgets.
Well, I mean, three of the 5 movies that you named didn't make a lot of money. I mean, they
but on their budgets,
two of the 5 movies that you had said they actually like lost money, because you have to break it down. You have to go, how much was usually a marketing is going to be somewhere between 20 and 50 million. Some bigger ones will do like 80 or 100 million for marketing. You have to take a third of whatever the total gross is, and that's going to all the theaters. And then on top of that, you have just the production budget. You have to take that out. And when it comes down to it, a lot of his movies just haven't done as well as they seem they have. Like After Earth, that's a bomb. Like that movie bombed. And it was critically trashed. I mean, the movie was critically trashed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he even came out recently and said it was a bad movie. Yeah. You had brought up to me in this next topic, next 30-second thought that we have here. Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey recently hosted SNL. She appeared in a very controversial skit about ISIS. There was an outpouring of negative responses to this. The question is, could this 2-minute skit affect her career? Go.
All right. Point number 1. Does anybody watch Saturday Night Live anymore? It seems like the only time they watch it is if it comes out on a YouTube clip or something where they do a really good skit on one of their shows, like maybe once a month. And I don't think it's going to hurt her career at all. I mean, there's a lot of people buzzing about it, like saying it was a bad thing to do. Twitter, they took over Twitter and they did that, but I don't think it's going to hurt. I watched it. I didn't think it was funny at all. I think they...
I'll let you finish your little thought. I'll give you an extra couple seconds. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
All right. It's not going to affect her career.
No.
But these actors do have to kind of pay attention to what they're doing, even if it is on Saturday Night Live, which nobody watches anymore. But, I mean, they still got to watch what they do a little bit, but it's not going to hurt. I don't think it was that bad.
For me, I'm going to say this is not going to affect her career one iota at all. I think that as far as moving forward, I think that this is initial backlash, but I think by the time the next 50 Shades comes out, I think that people have already forgotten about it. I have pretty much already forgotten about it. I watched it for the first time yesterday when you told me about it. And the big thing is that this is huge on YouTube now. SNL is huge on YouTube. And they take these clips, they put them on there, and people are copying them, putting them on there, and that's when it blows up. So I don't think it's gonna affect her either. I think that this is just gonna be one of those things that's you're gonna get some negative backlash right now, and that's pretty much it.
One question I wanted to ask you about it though is just real quick. Do you think there's gonna be an apology from somebody about this?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think there should be. I mean, to be honest, I laughed a little bit in the skit. I thought it was like, oh, all right, that little sketch, whatever they did. Yeah. I thought it was all right. It was a little funny. I was like, it was kind of in poor taste, but they do a lot of that.
They have to. I mean,
that's what they do. They sit on the edge, So I mean, when it comes down to it, it is what it is. Yeah. I don't think that they should come out with apology. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If they really feel like it's that big, then maybe more people are watching SNL than you thought. So the next segment coming up is we give each other movies every other week to watch. And basically they're movies that we've never seen. So we just try and introduce to kind of our own kind of like I kind of give him movies that I like. He kind of gives me movies that he like. Movies that we haven't seen. Try and get a better feel for our.
And
our
so far,
tastes.
so good, I would think.
So far, I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Blue ruined my day a little bit, but
Still a positive review.
But still a positive review because I could see how if I watched it in a different setting and different mindset, I would like it a little bit more.
Yep.
As far as the next one, The Way, Way Back, that was amazing. I love that movie. You, this past week, got the original Batman starring Michael Keaton. Speaking of Birdman. Yeah. So I'm interested in to see how you feel about the movie, and I want your rating. Yeah. I want you to really dive in. Give it to me at all. I want to hear how you feel because I know you have these feelings towards these superhero movies, but you had said that you really liked Tim Burton.
Yes, I did.
So why don't you go ahead and give me your take on Batman?
I'm going to change the title of this movie to The Joker because he's the only thing good in this movie. I mean, as far as this is how I got to review the movie, remember, is I never read comic books. I don't know anything about Batman except for I know what he looks like. And I've never seen any of the other movies, so I can only go off this movie. I mean, this is pretty much the way I watched this movie was it came out in 1989, and it's 1989 when I watched it. I mean, not knowing anything about it. And
the film is very 1989.
Yes, it is.
It's dated.
Yeah, it's very dated. Yeah. But, I mean, that didn't bother me that much because I knew what I was getting into. I knew I was getting into a dated movie. But Batman was very dull to me. Like, he didn't do anything for me in that movie. Like, he seemed to get his ass kicked a lot in the movie.
What?
It seemed like he was always getting beat up. Like, obviously he's a superhero, so he comes back and wins in the end. But it seemed like he was getting beat up a lot. His Batmobile
that was awesome. Don't say you hated that.
It's a base model for Kit from Knight Rider. I mean, at least Knight Rider, Kit talked to you. Like, he did all the same thing as Kit did, except for, I mean, in the movie, all he did was show up when he called for him. That's what Kit did, right? I mean, and Kit talked to him. At least,
yes,
that was a much cooler effect to it. Anyway.
Yeah.
And as far as him flying around in the little airplane thing, it got shot down by a revolver. I mean, a revolver with an extended, barrel, but
who shot him down?
The Joker.
Right. The Joker has some crazy gadgets. If you know anything about the thing, he has crazy ass gadgets.
But Batman has crazier gadgets.
No,
because he looked. He said at one point in that movie, he goes, "Oh man, he has a lot of gadgets or something like that, like a lot of fun gadgets or something like that." Obviously, they're on the same level of gadgetry.
The Joker is very well known for his gadgets.
Well,
in the cartoon and the comic,
I would say in that movie he wasn't. I mean, he had the revolver. I mean. He didn't have
the flower, all that kind of stuff. The acid comes out of it.
The best scene. I'm going to talk about the Joker here because the Joker, he had me rolling. Like, I was watching the movie just for the mere fact that I was waiting for him to come on the scene, and I was joking with you. I was texting you and telling you, I'm rooting for the Joker, and I actually was rooting for the Joker. Like, I'm like, man, you got to get this Batman guy out of here. Like, off with him. I mean, I was rooting for him with the girl. I mean, I was hoping that him and Miss Vale had a wonderful life together after that. I mean, it would have been a lot more exciting life for her.
Gosh.
Batman was very dull. He didn't do anything. He stayed in his house all the time. Jack Nicholson stole that movie.
Well, the thing is with Batman and the Joker, you have like the yin and yang. Like you have and they can't exist without each other.
Yeah.
Like the Joker is utter chaos, and the Batman wants to control all of that. And, basically, he's just the total opposite of the Joker, and they can't live without each other. That is what the whole premise is for, like, them two. So, of course, Batman, when he's in his Batman suit, he is this very serious and, like very stern kind of, like, doing it my way or the highway kind of deal. And the Joker is so flamboyant and all over the place and playing jokes all the time. And yes, so they're very different. But I can't understand how you wouldn't like Batman. You probably don't like Sherlock Holmes either.
On to the next subject here. Anyway, I will talk about my favorite scene in the whole movie, and, and it did involve the Joker.
Of course.
When he first became the Joker, and he was in the meeting with all the higher up bad guys, or the I guess they were business owners or something, or whatever they were. He was telling them, you know, this is how it's going down. And one of the guys, you know, kind of walks over to him or whatever, and he goes, you know, what if I don't want to do it your way? And so the Joker walks over to him and he's like, you know, I'll graciously shake your hand, and you be on your way. And he puts his hand out and he shakes his hand and he fries him. Yeah. And he's just, the guy ends up just falling down on the seat, and he's just like a black skeleton. So when everybody finally leaves the room, I actually rewound this scene because he's sitting there talking to the skeleton. Had me laughing so hard, man. Like, I can't remember exactly his exact words, but he's like, oh man, he's like, you're a bad guy or something like that. Glad you're dead. And he tightens up his tie. And oh my God, I was laughing so hard. I was like, no, he just did not do that. Like I said, Batman himself, I did not like. The Joker, I loved. I would watch movies with the Joker in it if the Joker. Well,
you said you didn't like The Dark Knight, and that's Joker heavy too.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Heath Ledger is much better.
I was told that. I was told that by somebody yesterday, that Heath Ledger did play a better Joker, but
you said you fell asleep in the movie.
I did. I fell asleep.
Crazy. That's absurd to me. That's Heath Ledger's right there. Yeah, I have another one over there.
I see all the stuff around here.
Heath Ledger.
All right, so my rating for the movie originally was a 4.5.
Joker right here.
Was a 4.5.
But your rating originally was a 4.5.
But I gave it a 5.5 just because I enjoyed the Joker so much. If the Joker wasn't in it, it could have possibly been even lower than what I wanted to give it.
That movie might still be in, like, it's tough because there's been so many good ones that have come out over the last 10 to 15 years. Movie might still be in my top 10 favorite comic book movies. I love that. I mean, I saw it in '89. I was 11 years old. Like, that's like,
hearing you talk about it though, like, I really wanted to enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed the other two movies that you gave me. I mean, I went in pretty much with the same attitude where here comes another old ass movie that
a lot of
probably gonna be
lame
too,
which I think you would enjoy. But
I was a little worried after I watched the movie, and I thought to myself I didn't like it. Like, maybe there's something is wrong with me. And I mean, I know it's a very small poll, but I went to work the next day, and I work with these guys 12 hours a day. I mean, 3 or 4 times a week, so I know him pretty well and whatever. And the kid that I do work with, he asked me, did you watch Batman last night? I was like, yeah. And he's like, what'd you think about it? I was like, dude, I hate to say this, but I thought it was pretty dull. And he's like, well, I kind of remember it being kind of not exciting either. But he's like, you would probably actually enjoy the other ones, like the new series ones, like the Dark Knight and stuff like that. He's like, those ones were way better than that one. So I was like, oh, maybe I should have just stuck with the Dark Knight and watched it again and not have fallen asleep. And he wasn't the only one I asked. And I asked 3 people at work, and all 3 of them said pretty much the same thing. Like, it was kind of dull, but it was a good movie.
When did they watch it? I think that's the biggest point.
They watched it. They were all older than me. They're all in their 40s.
Right. So they probably all watched it when they were like in their 20s. So they're seeing this for the first time, and it's not like I watched this for the first time when I was like 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like, it hit me, and I was like, holy crap, that's fucking Batman. Huh? Like, that's Batman.
See, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. Like
I love Batman. Batman's always been my favorite. Like, he's always been my favorite character. Yeah. Like, as far as superheroes
the Joker is
go.
mine now. Like,
the Joker is one of if not the best villain of all time.
Yeah,
and you have the two going head to head, which is amazing. So I don't know.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I mean, I feel bad because I know it's your like one of your favorite movies of all time. So
it's
like
not one of my favorite movies of all time, but
it's like if I gave you my favorite movie of all time and you said the movie wasn't that good.
Very very close to my heart.
Yeah.
As far as what I got, you gave me Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Another superhero movie.
Yes, another superhero movie, which.
Comic books.
Yeah, I don't really get the comic book side of it. Like, it wasn't comic booky to me. For me, I felt like it was a little misleading that it was comic booky. It felt more just like and I'm sure it does like this in the comic books. I've never read it. It felt more to me like it was a live action adaptation of a video game. And that's what it felt like to me throughout the whole movie. I mean, you had the points, you had like, you know, people dying and coins going up in the air and all that kind of stuff. That was cool, and I enjoyed it. But a lot of the dialogue that I got between, you know, especially Scott Pilgrim, Michael Cera, and the other character, I can't remember her name, is Ramona. The dialogue that happened between them, and they were the kind of the main two people in the movie.
The main characters, yep.
I didn't really like them. I didn't like them together. I didn't like their like chemistry. I didn't really care for them at all. I really liked Scott Pilgrim and Knives. I thought them together, I thought that was fun. Like it was just more in tune with the movie. And I loved the band. I loved the band that he was in, and I loved like the drummer, and I loved Young Neil. I loved that. Like it's such a play like on Neil Young. And they almost even said it. They were like, he's like, you are no longer Young Neil. Now you are Neil. Like I was like, oh, I was like, you're gonna say Neil Young. Come on, dude. But anyway, so I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a big Edgar Wright fan. But as far as for me, when it comes down to Edgar Wright, I would have to say like, you know, you have Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz for me, like are up here. Like I think any given day, whatever one I've watched most recently, I'll probably say I like that one a little bit better than the other. But when it comes down to this is more on the lines of like The End of the World, where you have that and Scott Pilgrim. Like they're kind of like, they're good movies. I enjoyed watching them, but it's not something I would seek out. With all that being said, I would love to see Scott Pilgrim in IMAX. I think some of the fight choreography in that was awesome. Really good. Some of it was bad. Like I got a little like upset when, because Michael Cera right at the beginning, he's like shown as this badass, like fighting, and like then he just gets his ass handed to him for a little while, and like it's like I want to see him like man up and win these fights himself, not like have to have Chris Evans skate down the part, you know, and die that way, or you know, because he outsmarted him. Like it's like, or like having him fight that girl and basically having his girlfriend do all the work for him, Ramona do all the work for him. Like it didn't really, I don't know, that kind of lost me. I did find it funny when Brandon Routh was the vegan and he had these magical powers. That was funny. I was like, at first I was like, oh, this is stupid. Like they really needed it. And then as it kept on going on, I was like, all right, this is kind of funny. And then they took away his magic powers. It's almost like he was like a Green Lantern. Like, like, we're going to take your ring, but they took his veganism away. Like, because he had chicken parm. So that was pretty funny. So if I had to rate Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. Like I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I would love to see it in IMAX, or like put my crazy sound system up and like blast it on my like just watch it on a big like 8-foot projection screen or something like that. That would be cool. But as far as like the movie goes, and it's probably in Edgar Wright realm. It's in like the middle range, like middle. I mean, I haven't really seen a movie that he's directed that I haven't liked, but you know, this is just kind of on the lower end for me. I mean, I liked it, but you know, it is what it is. It was good.
I've seen it plenty of times. I loved it. I mean, I didn't read the comic books either. I mean, I don't know what they're about or anything. I knew it was a comic book, but I kind of want to check it out to see if the comic books were kind of like it with the coins and the. I kind of just assumed that was what the comic book, because they come out of nowhere. I mean,
it was funny. I mean, like I said, I liked a lot of the dialogue between all the people, except for the main two leads with Michael Cera.
I think it was supposed to be like that, though. Like I think it was supposed to be awkward. Like
it wasn't just awkward. It's just like it was boring to me. Like I started to like it didn't fit with the rest of the movie. It was too like it made it uneven almost. Like you can do that. You can make parts seem like that, but it just didn't fit for me. Like I just didn't like it. Like
I wanted to watch it again last night just to refresh my mind. But I remember like one of the very first scenes where they're going around the house. And like you see like the words pop up, like how the words are popping up.
Oh, they pop up as like this is, you know, Scott's coat. And
yeah. I thought that was really funny. And then like how he like
it's kind of like in a video game, like when you're playing.
Like
stuff,
he was like
it shows you like what's what and kind of. And,
like at one scene, like it was cold out or whatever, and he magically had a hat on or whatever. And
and every time they kept on saying like, "Oh, your hair's getting a little shaggy," all of a sudden he has a hat on.
Yeah, he had a hat on. Yeah, like I honestly thought it was one of his better performances. Like He's one of
Oh,
those
as far as Michael Cera,
one stick kind of
like
like
one hit wonder kind of deal. Like he's
no,
got
not a one hit wonder, but
got
he's like
one kind of tone.
one kind of
Yeah,
because Juno, like all those movies, he basically plays the same character. Like
no, I enjoyed him in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought he was good, and he was great. And This Is the End.
oh my god, he stole the show every time he was on the scene.
Dude, oh my
every
Lord.
time he was on that screen,
That was amazing.
Yeah, like
that was a totally different side.
Yeah,
and that was
exactly.
awesome. That was like
Yeah.
the total 180.
Yeah.
But Scott Pilgrim, yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he was, he held his own. I think maybe I just didn't like Ramona as the character. I
Maybe,
just
yeah,
didn't
maybe,
really
yeah.
care for her.
How'd you like my girl Anna Kendrick?
She wasn't in it very
Yeah,
much.
I know what she was.
But I will say it was the best I've seen her look
yeah,
in a
she's
movie.
amazing.
Amazing for you. I think she's okay. I like her in movies.
If you're
I like
watching
her
this
stuff
right now,
like-
Anna, call me.
Yeah. We'll put up his digits on the
Yeah.
bottom of the bottom of the screen. So we're gonna go and what are we doing for movies this time? We got 2 new movies to give each other, and I know what I'm giving you this time because I watched this movie probably about 6 months ago, and I loved it, and I'm gonna watch it again this coming week because I want to refresh my memory. So when you're talking about it, I can go back and forth with
Nice.
you because I really want to talk about this. It is such a guilty movie pleasure. And the movie I have for you is Roadhouse, starring Patrick Swayze.
Nice. I've seen like bits and parts of it, but I will watch it from the beginning.
Deuce.
Yeah.
There was a point where I had my cover on my Facebook page, Double Deuce, like the actual banner of it. Oh, so I might do that again this coming week. All right. So what's the movie that you're gonna give me?
I'm gonna go recent. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I saw it when it first came out in the theaters. It also got released on Xfinity, Comcast for in the theaters now, and it is a drama, a horror, and a thriller. It's The Babadook. One of my. You're gonna enjoy this because I know you don't like jump scares.
No.
And
this is like a psychological thriller,
it's
right?
Psychological thriller, horror too. I mean, there's not. To me, there was no jump scares, but there might have been 1 or 2 in there.
How long is that movie? Do you know?
Yes, I have it right here. 93 minutes long.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's an hour and a half. But
I'll have to make sure I watch Roadhouse after I watch Babadook.
Watch it at night.
I won't be able to sleep.
Watch it at night. I'm telling you right now. Watch it at night. Make sure all the lights are off, and grab your wife or whatever if you need to. But
my wife's gonna be. No, my wife hates scary movies.
Yeah, but it's not scary. That's the whole thing. It's not scary. My friend Liz watched it with me, and she hates scary movies, and she liked it. Like it didn't scare at all. It wasn't a jump scare. It wasn't. It was like you said. It was a psychological thriller. Like. Debut for this director, Australia. It was one of my favorite movies from last year.
I heard it was amazing.
It is amazing.
That it should have been her leading the female lead.
Yes,
in that.
she was
should
very
have had
good.
maybe some Oscar, maybe buzz around her because she was so good in it.
But I will tell you, by the end of the movie, you're gonna want to smack the kid. You just want to smack him across the head. I mean, I know you're not allowed to do that in real life, but you're gonna want to smack him. And I'll talk to you about that.
All right. Well, I'll
give you The Babadook. I loved it.
I'll try and watch it earlier in the week too, so this way I can cleanse my palate with some other movies. Like
you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it.
I know I'm gonna like it. I like good scary movies.
Yeah.
But
this is not The Lazarus Effect. By the way, don't go see it. Even if it's free.
Don't say that.
No, I will.
Go see the
I tell you the
movie.
truth because you don't want to see this.
I didn't give it a good rating.
That's all right. Don't.
I'm just saying.
Wait till it comes out in the movie.
If you like jump
DVD
scares,
or,
if you like jump scares, go ahead and watch it.
Even if
you'll
you like
enjoy
jump
the
scares.
first,
10 minutes,
50 minutes of the movie. And then when she starts to turn, go take an extended bathroom break. Like it just kind of goes.
To be honest with you, the first 30 minutes was really good. Yeah. I thought it was really good. I actually thought it was really good the first 30 minutes.
They did a really good job.
And it just turned.
Yeah,
it was just bad.
As soon as she died.
Yeah.
It was like, her death was like, oh, okay, that's all right. They kind of
here we go
led to that. Yeah.
Here we go. That's what I was waiting for.
Done.
And it's PG-13. That's another.
Yeah.
That's what I say about the Lazarus.
So anyway,
but the Babadook.
Yeah, whatever. So we also had you guys vote on movies for us. We do a bi-weekly movie challenge. We usually come up and he'll give me 3, I give 3, and we post them, and then you vote on which movie we're going to watch right before the show. Last week we had Brandon Blaine on, and he, I apologize right now. I apologize for the mix-up with the Twitter handles and all that stuff. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was running around. This is a time-consuming hobby I have here, and unfortunately, Twitter handles got messed up. Kind of corrected it if you watch it on YouTube. Whatever. I apologize. Sincere apologies to Sir Chadwick Davis and Mr. Brendan Blaine.
I accept it.
Why are you getting all his?
I was getting a whole bunch of requests and stuff. Like, send me your mix. I don't DJ anymore. I don't know what you're talking about. Send me weird pictures of like Star Wars and stuff. Like, hey, I thought you might enjoy this. I don't enjoy this.
So anyway, we picked. You voted, and the winner was another one of Chad's choices. I might have to start pulling out some heavy artillery here, because apparently
you have been, man. Your movies have been good picks.
Zoolander and Goldfinger, yeah, but I've been going not necessarily on what I think other people would vote on, but what is kind of relevant. Like Kingsman and Goldfinger, very similar to each other in style of movies. You have Zoolander. I heard that Zoolander 2 was coming out, so I was trying to play off all that.
Yeah.
I'm done playing off all
that.
No,
don't play. You're going for the win now, right?
I'm just going to try.
Going for the win.
Which means I'm going to lose again.
Are you going to advertise it like Brandon did and try to sway your votes?
I'm just going to kill you right on set right now.
Brandon was out there trying to sway his votes to everybody, telling everybody, hey, this is the movies I picked. Pick these movies.
Only my 3 this week after I slay you down. Pick from one of these 3. I'm guaranteed to win. I'd probably still lose. They're writing in whatever Chad picked.
I got 3 good ones this week. So let's talk about the Sandlot a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about the Sandlot. The Sandlot one, I was really hoping either Zoolander or Goldfinger, obviously, because I wanted those. And Zoolander finished in second.
I would have been very happy with Zoolander.
Very distant second. It was like 45%, 15%, and then like 9s across the board. Obviously, you guys really wanted us to watch Sandlot.
I picked good movies. What can I say?
Which I was shocked because, I haven't seen this movie in probably 20 years. And I don't remember it as being that. Like, there's certain parts that I remember, like, "You killing me, Smalls." Like, I remember that stuff. I've seen it on baseball, classic. MLB channel every once in a while. And it is a classic, but it's not like, even now, even after watching it again, it's still probably not even in my top 10 favorite baseball movies. But it was funny. It is classic. We
had a good time watching it.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, we made fun of it quite a bit. But
you got to remember we were a lot older. And when this movie first came out, it came in 93.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old when this movie
15.
came out.
Yeah.
And growing up, so 4 years, that's quite a bit. I mean, not now when we're older, but growing up 4 years, I grew up on this movie. Like, this was my time to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember laughing my ass off watching this movie, and I still do. Like, you saw me get excited.
There are funny parts in there. Like, there are. It's
that
funny.
whole pool scene and his face, man. Like, oh my god! And then he waves to her, like, all happy. Like you said, the friends. Me growing up and you growing up, our friends would have been pissed at us.
We can't go back to the pool for the rest of the summer.
It's 95 degrees now. We can't go to the pool because you decided you're going to kiss Wendy Peppercorn or whatever her name is. Peppercorn. But yeah, dude, I love this movie. The Beast. It's funny watching this movie again because the Beast, like, now that
I'll have to remember to post the picture of the Beast that I was telling you about. Like, it took like 2 people. I think they had like the head off of the Beast. It was like laying on the ground, and the guy who was in the front was like smoking a cigarette.
It's just being grown up and watching these kind of movies is funny to look back and watch them though, because you pick out certain things that you would have never picked out when you were younger. Like, we noticed the dog. Like, right. I think they used like 3 different dogs at one point because like every time you looked at the dog, you're like, the dog looks a little smaller now. And then all of a sudden he jumps over the fence and like his head is like bigger than the house. Like, And the ball looked like a golf ball in his mouth.
And then he's walking around with it like, and obviously it's their imagination of what this dog looks like and all that stuff. But like, it was a fun movie. I mean,
and Dennis Leary's in it too.
Dennis Leary, big fucking Q. Like,
there was a couple of scenes in it. If it wasn't a PG movie, I think it was PG. It had to be PG because they swore in it. Yeah. If it wasn't a PG movie, like I felt like Dennis Leary was gonna like slap his wife or something. Like, no, it was like slap his wife or beat his kid or something. Like
I don't have time to throw the baseball with you right now.
When she walked into the
throw like a pansy.
when she walked in the room, like she was like, no, you know. Can you stop what you're doing now and, you know, go throw the ball around or whatever? And he like gives her a look, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Like this is where it's gonna happen. Obviously, it didn't happen, but movie was good. I'm glad you guys picked it.
The movie was good. It was entertaining. We enjoyed it. We kind of went back and forth. I was picking fun at it.
We actually watched this movie, and we're into this movie more than we were Happy Gilmore. We watched Happy Gilmore together.
Well, I think because we were more into the movie of Happy Gilmore, like we were kind of like, you get sucked in a little bit into Happy Gilmore. This, you kind of like poke fun at it as you're going along.
Well, it
makes it kind of like a guilty movie.
We watched Happy Gilmore, you know, a couple of times we were on our phones. Like we know the movie really well, so you can kind of miss a part or whatever.
Right.
I think maybe we were on our phones like maybe once. During this movie.
I went on it a little bit, but it was just to check, like, you know, who was in it, like, and what they're doing
we looked
now,
up a couple things, like what they were doing now, and, you know, Benny the Jet, and, you know, looking up his, you know, I was looking to see if I could buy a pair of his shoes, like, but yeah, it was a good film.
PF Flyers.
Yeah, the PF Flyers, the Converse, man, like, it was a good movie. The dog, I don't understand how the dog never caught up to him. I mean, we were making fun of it. They ran for like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, that dog isn't going to catch him. Like, literally, there was like a 40-foot gap that they were running, and he had already caught up half the way.
But in the next scene,
it's just
he was like more than 40.
And then when he goes, he's like, meet me back at the Sandlot. And then he goes and he bites him in the butt or whatever. And he's like, and then all of a sudden again, he's like 20 feet away. Yeah. How does he bite you? And then you're like, what's going on? And like jumping over the fence, doing backflips and landing on his back over there. Like, what the heck? That contraption that they had going over, like leaving him for like, and then he dropped the ball. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, and the one part that I thought was funny that we were talking about was sending into the fence.
Oh yeah.
And we were joking about it, and we're like, seriously, like if you had to take all the characters and you had to lose one to the dog, like if the dog was gonna take somebody's life, it was gonna be because he didn't have that much to do with the story.
It led you to feel like he was actually in danger.
Yeah, like he was in danger. Like this guy is not important to the team. I mean, I didn't even know what position he played, to be honest with you. I mean, he was replaceable. That's what I was looking at, and I just, dude, it was great.
It was good. I mean, I thought the funniest part to me was the absurd ending. How they kept on telling you about how all these successful these people got, and then I can't remember what kid it was, but they were like, yeah, he kind of fell. He kind of got lost in the 60s, and like nobody ever heard from him again.
We never heard of him. The nerdy,
how dark is this movie?
The nerdy kid with the glasses that kissed Wendy. They ended up getting married and had 9 kids.
What? The age gap is like 7 years there. Like, God, man, she really waited a long time for her.
I think in the whole movie, the only thing that pissed you off the most was the reason why Dennis Leary did not have that ball in a case.
Yes.
Like, you just kept on saying it. Why did you not have that ball in a case?
That ball's worth like at least $250,000. What the hell is your problem? Why don't you have that locked up, like with lasers, like Mission Impossible kind of stuff? Like, come on. That thing's like, I was like, you didn't even have to keep going to work. You could just go out and throw with your kid for the rest of your life. Just sell that baseball. Like, what the hell is your problem? Like, come on. That's just so absurd. It was ridiculous. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe that. I was like, I take better care of my home run balls in Little League. Like, what the hell? I'm just going to take this Babe Ruth signed ball and just put it right here for anyone to take. No problem.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, my Lord. And then blind Darth Vader goes and Goes and gives.
It just gives him the ball.
You lost the Babe Ruth
Some
ball?
random
okay,
kid.
No problem. Here's another one. Not only does it have that, but it has Gehrig and all the rest of the 27 Yankees.
I think my signature's on there too because I was a better hitter than him.
Yeah, I was a better hitter than him until I got flunked in the head. Lights went out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then Hercules became a mascot.
Oh yeah.
But no longer the Beast. Now he's Hercules.
He was all small.
Which I don't understand why they didn't know. Like, his name is Hercules. We don't know why. Like, you're supposed to be a brilliant kid. Like, you're building all this stuff. How do you not know who Hercules is? Come on. Some of the holes in this movie, I tell you.
There was holes in the movie, but it was good. Oh man. I could watch it again right now if we wanted to.
I'm good for a little while. Let's watch Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck.
Well,
maybe Major League.
Let's move on to our movie picks, and maybe we can maybe you can win one week here.
Yeah. All right, you know what? I'm gonna have you go first because I always go first. I'm gonna have you start off. You are gonna
this
start
is a little
off
different, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you go first. I gotta see what I'm going up against here. Maybe that's the problem. I'm still gonna get my ass kicked. And it's for some reason it's like everything he picks. He could be like, yeah, we're gonna watch Fluffy the Pig and
Babe in the City.
Yeah. Let's watch it. Babe in the City.
How'd you know? That was on my list.
I'm gonna smack you.
All right, so I went with. I'm gonna do this every time. The last time I went with a theme for baseball because baseball season's coming up. I'm gonna stick with the theme, not baseball though. This theme is gonna be adult, animated. We brought it up last week. It's gonna be South Park, bigger, longer, uncut.
Ooh.
I'm gonna bring out the big guns right off the bat, and
that's a good one.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's gonna be tough to beat.
Who doesn't love that movie? That's the question. Like, who doesn't love it?
That's gonna be tough. I haven't seen that one in a while too.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I wouldn't mind watching that again.
Yeah.
My first movie is gonna be. This is gonna bring some serious competition.
All right.
My first movie is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
All right.
I love that movie so much. It's a short movie too.
Yeah.
Very short.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I used to know almost all the lines throughout the movie. I haven't watched it as much over the last probably 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a period of time in my life where I would watch that movie almost every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, because it's so old, it has such a generation, like so many generations that know this movie and love it. I want to see that again. So Monty Python and the Holy Grail is my first entry to compete with your South Park.
You're bringing out the guns here. All right, my second one is going to be the movie, animated movie, and actually real life movie. I think the greatest sex scene ever. Team America, World Police.
Oh, so you're sticking with the South Park creators.
Yep. Yeah, for the first two movies. Yep.
Yeah, I love them. I love that movie too. I actually watched that probably in the last.
I laughed the whole movie. Like,
oh, that movie.
Seriously, there wasn't a part in that movie where I didn't laugh. Like, the whole movie was just funny.
I had made a comment on one of the worst movies of the year, how sex tape, like how they actually made a sex tape in the movie, and how the sex montage that they had in that was not funny. And when it was funny was when I saw it in Team America World Police. Like, that was hilarious. Uncomfortably hilarious. Like, I was like rolling in my seat because I saw that in the theater.
I saw Team America?
Yes.
I saw it in the theater too.
Oh my Lord. It was so funny.
And the theater was packed and that scene came on, and at first it was quiet.
Yeah.
And then
they just kept on
out
going.
of nowhere.
It was like a 5-minute scene.
Yeah. And out of nowhere, everybody in that fucking theater let loose. And dude, it was, oh my God.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was
really
hilarious.
Funny.
It was great.
Really funny.
All right, what do you got
to
match up with Team America?
I don't know if this will match up with Team America. It's just something that I know I would love to watch, and I'd love to watch early in the morning, especially because I think it's like a good wake up call in the morning, and that is Austin Powers.
Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
Nice.
I would love to see that movie early in the morning. I haven't seen the original one in such a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original
and
one.
Yeah. I caught it on TV like for a few seconds. I don't really like to watch movies on TV.
Yeah.
Especially movies like that. Like I like to see like the full movie.
Yeah.
But I caught it on TV for a few minutes and I was like, oh, I gotta add that in. I gotta add that in one of my movies. All right, what's your third?
My third one, it took me a while to think about this. I mean, I started thinking about it the second I got out of work last night at 7, and I finally came up with one at 2 a.m.
Ooh.
And my roommate had a little bit, he helped me out a little bit with this one. Shout out to Dan Banning. This one had Bruce Willis lends his voice in it. Demi Moore lends her voice in it. Even David Letterman lends his voice in it. And even the Boyhood director, Richard Linklater, lends a voice in it. Very small, but it is. And it is Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh, my God. That's going to be the one that wins. It's going to destroy me.
I'm telling you, Beavis and Butthead Do America, one of my favorite animated movies. I haven't seen it since it came out.
Oh, my Lord.
But I do love it. Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law.
I haven't seen that. I think I saw that once. I don't think I finished it.
No?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I just, Beavis and Butthead never really
You didn't watch the TV show?
No, I did, but it wasn't like something that I watched a lot.
I say I did.
I never really found it funny.
I watched it all the time. I even watched Diarrhea or whatever her name was. The girl, she had a spinoff on MTV. Yeah,
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a really good movie.
All right.
I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think it would be funny to watch. I mean, looking back, I mean, I can't remember when it came out, but it was a while ago.
Yes, that was probably mid-90s.
Oh yeah, easily, yeah.
And my third movie, the third movie I'm going to choose.
Well, here we go. Oh.
No, is because and you haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. You were talking to me about this earlier.
Oh, this might be
I had a bunch in here. And actually, I'm gonna veer away from comedies. I'm going away from comedy. It's actually kind of humorous, parts of it.
Just give me the goddamn movie.
I'm setting up the aura for my loss. I am gonna go because you haven't seen. You said you saw 1, you said you saw 2, and you saw 4, but you haven't seen 3. So I'm gonna go with Rocky 3 because you haven't seen the one with Mr. T.
That is like throwing a wrench into everything right there. Because
that one's just like that one's the oddball.
There's a very
odd bunch
oddish.
of comedies, and then
boom,
Rocky. Then Rocky.
Rocky's gonna knock them all out, one by one.
You'll have to see this. You have to see. You haven't seen 3, and I have it. I have it on DVD. I have it. Like it might not be even opened still. In case I run into Mr. Stallone like you do with Denzel, you have to sign it.
Yeah. Hey, I would have it in a case. I can tell you that.
T, have him sign it.
If I have it, I would put it in a case.
Mm.
I wouldn't just have it out there so some
You wouldn't
freaking bratty little kid could run away with it and play baseball with it.
You wouldn't just give it to your nephew.
No.
Here,
Hey, here's my movie. Here, I had Denzel Washington.
Here's my movie and a thing of sandpaper. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Take care of that for me.
All right, so with the 6 movies that we have total, we have South Park, Team America World Police, and
Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Beavis and Butthead Do America. And then we have, for me, we have Monty Python the Holy Grail, Austin Powers, and Rocky 3.
That's going to be a tough one.
So I got some good ones out there. Just wait. I have lined up for I'm trying to bring this home. I got to start getting some wins here.
You guys have to vote for this one because this one is ridiculous. Like the 6 movies are all awesome movies.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't seen Rocky 3.
Yeah. Well, obviously
and you've seen parts of Monty Python. That's the big thing, is that he hasn't seen the whole Monty Python the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I have to put this out there.
Yeah.
Monty Python the Holy Grail is like a comedy staple. Yeah. It is like one of the best comedies ever.
We'll let them choose. Is it better than Beavis and Butthead Do America?
And see, I think people
you guys make the decision.
He thinks it's hilarious. He's sad, so I'm gonna beat him down and just make him even more sad. Make him watch it. I'm gonna wait. This is gonna be me, opening up the next show. Hey guys,
he's gonna be crying because
Cinemaniacs, thanks.
Because Robert Downey's gonna come out and say
Beavis and Butthead.
Due Date 2's coming out, and Beavis and Butthead, and then he just got done watching Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Great, good times. Good times.
2 weeks is gonna be a really good show. I have a feeling.
Oh, I'll be here. All right, so that's pretty much wrapping up the show for this week. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Actually, we're not 100% sure. Figure it out. We'll figure it out the next
We'll get
show,
it in.
which is 2 weeks from now. We'll figure out what day we can do it. But I just don't know if it'll be that filming on that Monday and be able to debut on that Wednesday. Other than that, we will we'll see you in a couple of weeks. But why don't you let people know where they can find you on the social interwebs?
You can find me on Instagram at DJ Dizzle82, and the same as Twitter, it's DJ Dizzle82. And
for me, you can find me on all the social interwebs. You can find me at the CineBros pretty much everywhere. Facebook, facebook.com/CineBros, Twitter, Instagram at the CineBros. And please don't forget to click that subscriber button, because we need to get to 100 subscribers. I want to start giving away some prizes and stuff like that. So help us help you.
Yep.
Help us help you. We're going to try and do our best to give away some prizes and all that kind of stuff. So get us to 100, and then we will give away a free movie digital download to one lucky subscriber. And then we'll start doing some more stuff, maybe even on the Facebook channel, all that kind of stuff. Trying to throw some love back to you for all the love that you guys have shown us. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed our little discussion and rant and silliness that kind of played out a little bit. And we'll see you guys soon. So I will see you guys later. Till the next time. Woo, woo. You're killing me, Smalls.